Give me 1 hour, just 1 hour, and I'll teach you how to automate your entire business with N8N. No coding, no tech skills needed. I'm giving away free templates that do the work for you. This is going to blow your mind. Now listen, I know what you're thinking. Another automation tool, another complicated software, another thing you don't have time to learn. But here's the reality. If you spend 1 hour with me right now learning N8N, you'll save hundreds of hours every single month. That's not hype. That's math, and I'm going to prove it to you in the next hour. You're going to learn how to build automations that run your business while you sleep, how to connect all your apps together so they talk to each other, how to use AI to do work that used to take your team days, and how to do all of this without writing a single line of code. This is the most valuable hour you'll spend all week. How to use N8N with Nano Banana. I'm going to be giving away 2 different templates today for free. One of them being a N8N Nano Banana template that actually generates images for free. And then the other one actually generates videos from images. We'll come on to that in a minute. So let me walk you through exactly how it works. This is the basic workflow right here. And essentially, if you're not familiar with Nano Banana, it's a new update from Google where you can generate really nice images, right? So it's a brand new image editing model. I would honestly say for my tests, that it is much better than ChatGPT from what I've seen so far. As an example of this, right? So you can, for example, edit images, actually create a thumbnail with it, which is pretty nice. And essentially how you can use this is you can use it inside the chat here as an AI agent, right? So this is a chat message. And then from there, you can then use OpenRouter's API, and they have a free version actually for using Nano Banana, the free version, right? Then once you've done that, you are going to run a request that turns the image to a video. So let me show you exactly how this works step by step. If we go inside here and we type in, for example, banana, all right, so you can see it's now generating the outputs here. So we've typed in, for example, like monkey in the chat. It's going to edit that and then turn it into a file. Really quick process. We basically put in a chat, whatever image you want to generate, for example, like monkey. That's going to send a chat completion over to OpenRouter. From OpenRouter, we're going to edit the fields and take the JSON, which I'll come on to in a minute, and then convert that into a file so that we've got the output over here of a monkey, right? And so we're using Nano Banana for all of this, and it's really easy to use. Now, if you want to use the API for free on OpenRouter, you can go over to OpenRouter over here, and then you can go to models. Right, so you get your model, and then the one that you're going to be using is Google Flash 2.5 image preview free, right? So this is the free API that you can use to generate images for free inside N8N. Now, if you actually host locally on N8N as well, then this is completely free too. So who we got on here? We've got MD just joined, morning from Portsmouth, good to see you. Jesse Jiu-Jitsu, let's go. P says, yo. Sporter says, let's go. And Mother Man says hello from New Zealand. Yeah. So essentially, this is how you use it step by step, right? If you want to get the API key, let me show you exactly how this works. So if we pull this up, full screen, let me pull this up, right? So we're using the model in Gemini 2.5 Flash image preview. Now, if you want to use the free one, all you would do is you copy this. And the reason that I'm not using the free one on this example is just because sometimes, you know, when it's just been released and this is brand new stuff, right? When you're using the new stuff, it can fail on you a little bit. But let's try this out. So we're using the free version of Google Gemini 2.5 Flash image with OpenRouter, and it's generated the image. Beautiful. That is beautiful, right? Word first time on a live stream. Wow, I love that. Love that. All right. So Signum says, could you send the template? So the way that you're going to get access to this, you go to, and it's inside the free group, right? So it's the AI Money Lab, link in the comments and description. Then you go to Classroom, New AI Automations, Google Nano Banana Free, and then you've got the images and the image to video example, right? So if we want to generate just images on their own, click Download, go over to N8N, import from file, upload the JSON file, boom shakalaka. There you go, it's ready to go. One thing I'm actually just going to do is I am going to save this as we're going to save this as free, right? Because this is actually using the free API, and it actually worked on the live stream. So I'm going to just download that, And then we'll go back to the Money Lab, add that template in for you right there, right? So then if you want to use the free API, you can just use a free API version, all right? Just use that one instead. And so that's basically how you can turn this N8N into a free image generation tool that's really powerful, that can just generate images for you on command. Now, bear in mind, if you were using ChatGPT's image generation API, it would be crazy expensive, it's going to be super slow, etc., and super annoying, right? Whereas you can use the free version with OpenRouter. You just plug in your details. Now, let me talk you through exactly how to set this up, right? So if you want to set this up from scratch, if you want to build it from scratch. So first thing that you're going to do is you would set up a new chat trigger. Like you can see add node, and you would add a chat trigger. So I've already added one, so I can't add a new one. Then you're going to set up a HTTP request. And this is going to change this to post, right? To post. So what this does is essentially it goes over to OpenRouter, like in this post request. We're using this API, right? So it's OpenRouter API chat completions, predefined credential type. Credential type is OpenRouter. And then inside the credential type, right, you go to edit and you plug in your API key here. Now, if you don't know how to get your API key, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go over to OpenAPI, then you're going to go to keys, inside keys, create API key, and you just go and you plug that in directly here. You just paste your API key in, right? So we've done that. Then what you can see here is we are sending the body, right? So we're sending this body JSON type, right? So you click send body. Let me just refresh the page. Send body JSON, using JSON. And then if you want to know what the code is that we're using here, so essentially we've got the model as flash image preview free, messages, role, user, blah, blah, blah. And you can just copy and paste that, right? Or just use the template that I've given you. But essentially, the most important thing to note here is that inside the text input here, we are inputting our text so that we can tell the image generator what we want. And so just to be clear here, we've got a chat message that goes to post HTTPS request over to OpenRouter. From there, we are going to edit the fields. Now, you might be wondering, okay, why would you edit the fields? What's the point of this, right? And so this edit fields section here allows you to map manually the different parts of the JSON code, right? So you can see here, we've got the data string. And if I show you an example live, so if we type in, I don't know, cat eating banana, if we do that example right here, so that's going to run the HTTPS request using OpenRouter, and then it's going to edit the fields. So if we open this up, it's now taken all of the data, all of this messy data, and just organized it into a nice string, right? But the main thing to note here is that what it's actually going to do is it's going to take all of this base data, and then it's going to turn it into an image, right, that you can download. So if we go over to convert to file, what this is doing is it's taking that image data, and then if we click on show data, it's taking that field mapping over here. We're going to click operation move base 64 string to file base image as the output, and that basically turns this into a downloadable image. Right? If we go to view over here, we can see our cat eating a banana, and it's pretty realistic, right? Pretty good. I'm actually going to show you some interesting ways to prompt this in a second that blew my mind earlier today. But essentially inside the edit field section, you can create that image, and then if you want to view it, you can. If you want to go back to the list and then download it, you can. And then you can see this image over here. Boom shakalaka. All right, really cool stuff. So that's essentially how you can do it. Now, that's a really basic workflow, but it works beautifully. And also, if you don't want to go through the whole process again, if you want to tweak stuff, what you can do is pin each of the 5 modules here. Right, so if we click save here, this is all pinned information. And then if you want to get the JSON file, like I said, go to the AI Money Lab, go to Classroom, new automations, new Google Nano Banana. It's right at the bottom. We do add a lot of stuff inside here for this free course. If you just want to get the JSON files, they're down here. Right, there you go. Resources, boom. Okay, so that's basically it. Damavicious says, what time is it there? It's 4 p.m., my friend. And then from here, we've got this ready to go. Now what I'm going to show you is how to generate the video. So if you want to generate the video, you just go to this JSON file that I've attached inside the module. And it's completely free. Don't need to pay for it. This is free stuff. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to see an example like this, right? And so essentially what you can use is something called Runway, right? And with Runway, you can actually generate images to videos. So let me pull up an example. This is a super rough example, but I just want to show you the power of this. We're just going to close Llama. So this is a video that was generated from an image, right? And so if you have images from Gemini, then you can actually turn those into videos inside N8N as well. And again, using the free API, you can generate images, then you can send those images over to Runway, and then you can generate the video from the image. All right. So let's go to how this works step by step. So again, we're starting this with a new chat trigger. So we're taking the chat input, for example, like whatever we want to create the image about. So for example, like a banana. Then from here, we've got the HTTP request, which again is just creating that image. Nothing has changed there, right? Nothing has changed there. So that's what it does. And then from here, what you can do is you can actually take the image that you have and generate a video out of it. All right, pretty simple and easy. So if we go back to, for example, basic banana image, right? And we've got that image like so. Then you can generate videos with it. And you can see this is using just a sample URL inside the automation, but you can see how easy it is to do this, right? So you're basically just taking a PNG file and then you're plugging it into the process. Now, if you're wondering, okay, how do you set up Runway to use this? So you can set up a HTTP request one, right? Then you're going to go to post, you set up the URL, which is this one. This is Runway ML's setup. And if you want to create like an API key and everything like that, just go to dev.runway. This is the developer portal. And inside the developer portal, you can actually get an API key, right? So don't use the main version of Runway. Go to the developer portal at dev.runway.ml.com. Click on new API key. You can generate a new API key that you're then going to plug into a generic credential type, header auth, Runway ML. And inside the Runway ML section here, you can put authorization, right, as a name. Then you're going to put bearer. And the way that you type this out is it's a capital B. I'll put this inside the notes for you, just so you can steal this from me. So it's bearer space API key, right? And so you have to add that space in here. And you have to put bearer first in the credentials. And then that's how you can validate this, right? It's important because otherwise you won't be able to generate responses. You also have to make sure that if you're creating videos, that you've got your balance topped up on Runway. So you can see here we've added credits, and that allows us to generate responses like you can see over here, right? So you can see that we've been generating responses using this process. Really simple and easy. You see all the different models that they have here as well. So it's quite easy to turn a image to a video. You've got a lot of different options right there. And essentially, that's how it goes. Motherman says it's 9 p.m. here, and Click Stanger says, yay, Julian Master Live. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching, tuning in. All right, generic credential type, header auth, Runway ML, send headers, and I'm using the X Runway version, and we just add this value in. And then on the JSON here, we send body JSON using JSON. And then if we open this up, you can see how we've plugged this together, right? And again, you would just replace that URL with an openly public URL where your PNG file is hosted, right? Really important to note that. So that's essentially how you can do this. And then you can generate videos like I was showing you a second ago inside here, right? So this module here, it sends the image to become a video using Runway. And then this section right here gets the image from Runway, right? So you can see it's using that JSON ID over here, which is pulled in from the last module. We're using a generic credential type, header auth, Runway ML, send headers, same model as before, boom shakalaka. All right. And that's basically how you can turn an image into a video using N8N and this workflow. So you can basically replace any sort of previous modules that you had and switch them over to something like this, right? Now, as an example of that, if you pull up a previous module that I've created, this is shorts automation, right? And inside the shorts automation, what we've done is we've created an idea, then that's generated a prompt, then that's going to plug in an image over to file, right? And so this section here, instead of generating the images used in Fluxional, you could actually create the video using, you could get the image using Gemini image and then generate the video using Veo 3, right? So you can use something like this. So loads of cool stuff that you can do there. A lot of optimizations and automations you can make with that. And if you want both of the templates for doing this, we've got the image to video example, the JSON for generating images, and then finally the free API version for generating basic images. The other cool thing that you can do over here, if we go back, right? So if we go to overview, then we go to Banana Basic, N8N, you can actually make this public, right? So for example, if we click on this, make chat publicly available, then we're going to make that workflow active. All right. And then you can actually create a open chatbot that generates images directly inside the chat here, right? So if you want to use this, you can, and then you would just go through it as normal. All right. So that's basically how it works step by step, how to use it, etc. Now, there's a couple other things I want to show you here that I think are really cool. So using the custom GPT that I've built, so we actually got this is inside the AI Profit Boardroom. If you want to use this custom GPT that I've built, essentially what this does is it's an image prompter for Banana Nano, right? For Google Banana Nano. So if you want to get like better quality prompts, you can go inside here. This is custom prompted on Google's guidelines for generating responses with Nano Banana. And then from here, you can start generating responses. So for example, we could say, right, okay, give me an image of a cat playing basketball with a gang of dogs, something like that, right? And basically, using this image prompter, it's going to give us a subject, the composition, the action, the location. And that's a much better quality prompt for generating responses. For example, if we take this, it's going to have all the details of the context, the style, the editing instructions, and then it's going to have a final prompt over here. So if we take this information, then we're going to go over to Google Gemini, plug this in right here, enter, and we'll get a much better output than using just a one-word prompt. And so it depends on the quality of the prompts that you want, but you could easily add this into your workflow and then generate better quality prompts as you're going along. So let's wait for this to load. Here we go. That's the image generated. And that was super cool, right? Super easy and simple to generate. We've got a cat playing against all these gangster dogs, whole crowd in the background, looking at stuff, and some squirrels at the top. Like, the attention to detail is pretty cool too. But it's much better and much faster than using something like, for example, ChatGPT. The other benefit of using Gemini and Nano Banana is that when you're actually using this, you can edit the background and that sort of thing. So for example, if we wanted to say, okay, make the cat look way more ghetto and gangster, then we can actually just edit like different parts of the image, like a AI version of Photoshop, if that makes sense. Now, if we use exactly the same prompt inside ChatGPT, right? So we're going to take this prompt and we'll use ChatGPT, which, I mean, honestly, it's like super slow, right? So if we go inside ChatGPT, I'm actually dreading using this right now. So I'm going to say, okay, create an image of this. And then if we go to Gemini, right, and we'll compare these side by side. So I'm going to pull up ChatGPT and we're going to compare this versus Gemini. Right? So we're going to plug this in over here and we're going to use ChatGPT to generate a response as well. And so let's see who wins. Now, I know for almost a fact that Gemini Flash Images is going to generate a much quicker and better response than using ChatGPT. But let's see what we get back here. So you can see we've already got the image back, which looks pretty good. If we have a look at the image from ChatGPT, it's just getting started, right? It literally takes 10 times longer. If you have this in your workflows, then your productivity is going to get absolutely smashed. And the reason for that is because you're waiting like 10 times longer, if not maybe 50 times longer, for the same image to be generated at a lower quality, let alone if you have any image edits that you need to change on the image. So for example, if we're using this, what I can quickly, whilst it's still generating, I can say, okay, make the cat the green alien. And whilst ChatGPT is still messing around generating, I think we can even make edits quicker with Gemini, but let's see. We'll see which one comes back first. We've actually generated 2 images with edits in the space of time it took to get the image back from ChatGPT. It's just ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Darren says, what if we take old technology and build a bridge to connect it to new technology that is a lot cheaper and easier for government, mining, transport, and banking to adopt? Probably a little bit off topic there, mate, but yeah, I see what you're saying. I think it is a bridge, to be fair. If we have a look at these images as well, side by side, this one is more photorealistic, but it just looks a lot weirder, right? Like, what's going on with that dog's arm over here? Whereas, for example, if we look at this image, there's a lot more detail, like I was saying. It's a lot cooler. It's a lot more interesting. I would say this one is going to capture attention more. Andrew says, Julian, you are awesome. You're an absolute legend. Andrew, I appreciate it, man. Thanks very much. It's really, that makes it worth everything that I do to get good feedback and stuff. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But if we have a look here, so if we've got the gangster cat, we've got the cat over here, we've got the alien, you know, so like you can build really cool stuff with Gemini Banana, and it's way faster and way easier. Andrew says, what's your main chosen model? So for using images, like I was saying, I use Nano Banana. I think it's way better than ChatGPT image creator. The other thing that I'd be tempted to do, and I've not tested this out yet, but one thing that I would like to try is actually building an app using the API from Google Image as well. Maybe we can test that out in a second. But essentially, before we do that, I want to show you something else. And this is absolutely amazing. I've actually linked to Machina inside the free module of the AI Success Lab, but this blew me away, right? So essentially what you can use inside Gemini, if you're creating better prompts, and you can put this inside your N8N workflow if you want to, is you can take these prompts and use them as presets for like logos, ads, that sort of thing. And there's 20 different JSON templates inside here. So I'm actually going to put this inside the description of the video from today as well. So that's on YouTube too, just in case you want to check it out. But if you want to, for example, generate like a really cool output here, let me show you some examples, right? So if you wanted to generate, let's say like a game style image, like you can see right here, shout out to Machina again for doing this. You can actually take this JSON prompt and you can plug that into Gemini Nano Banana when you're creating the outputs, right? So for example, if we take this over here, we're going to copy that JSON, we're going to plug it into Gemini, we're going to switch tools to images, and then we're going to say, okay, create a zombie apocalypse image, something like that, right? And then that's going to start generating the image, but it's going to be using the JSON that we're filtering it through, which means that we get much better responses from the image because it's stylized to that custom code we've plugged in, right? And that means that you've got a custom preset if you want consistent outputs. So you see how this is created an image right here, like in a game style, right? It looks way more interesting. And so you can generate beautiful images using these presets and they look really cool. Sporter says, if you want to impress us, have a gangster cat rap whilst balling. All right, let's try this out. So I'm going to change this to, let's see what styles we got on the list here. So we got the game one is really cool. This is kind of like a comic book style one. This is photorealistic, which I really like as well. So we'll try this one for the image. So I want to take the JSON over here. We're going to plug this in to a new chat, right? Tools, images, go up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the image prompter, and I'm going to say, okay, give me an image of a cat playing basketball, cat with a gang of dogs, rapping whilst balling, right? And we'll get that image prompt generated first, and then we'll use that to generate the outputs, right? So we're going to take this text like so, go back to Gemini, plug this in at the top, right? Hit enter. And now we can start generating better responses. And that should use the custom prompts from ChatGPT along with the photorealistic JSON from Machina. And then if we go over here, we have the image, and there we go. So you can see how easy that is to do. Super simple. And it really didn't take long to generate at all. All you have to do is just run those prompts step by step using the process I've given you. Works really well. You actually get much cooler, better outputs. I would say that looks more interesting than the original one that we generated and less cartoonish as well. And then also here's the other thing. So if we download that full size, this is something that ChatGPT can't do as well. So if we download that and click Strango says top results, appreciate it. Supporter says, thanks very much, sir. And then 4M4 log says, hi, Julian, thanks so much. Your video pushed me forward with N8N. That's what I'm talking about, man. Let's progress humanity with N8N automations. All right, so now we're going to take the image over here that we just generated, right? So this is the one of the gangster cat rapping whilst balling. And here's where we're going to take it to another level, right? So we're going to add in that photo of the image from Gemini, and then we're going to say animate this. Right. And so we're using Layer 3, which is the built-in automation from N8N, and we're going to use that to generate a video, right? So you can see here it's now generating that video using Gemini. Not only does Gemini have the fastest image prompter in the world, it also has a built-in video generator that you can't get inside ChatGPT. And then we're generating the video over here. So that's going to take a couple of minutes. But yeah, you see how it works. So final thing that I haven't tested out, but I want to know whether you can do it or not. Probably there's some people watching who can do this. But essentially, I think inside Bolt, you could, for example, use the Nano Banana image API to generate a image tool, right? So essentially what we're going to try and do here is create an image tool using the image API from Google so that, for example, we could generate like images or thumbnails, whatever we want directly here. All right. So if you've never used it before, it's kind of like an app builder, and it can build websites too. And it is very simple because you're just using plain language to describe what you want. And so using that, we can then create the tools that we have in mind, right? So if you always had a tool that you wanted to create, let's say, for example, you want to create an image tool using the Nano Banana API, I'm pretty sure you could do it using this process. It would just take a lot of back and forth. I actually did something similar with the ChatGPT image previewer, but yeah, you get the point. So you can build those sort of tools directly inside Bold.new as well, which would be really cool. Final thing that I want to show you, if you go over to AI Studio, this is another way you can use it for free, and you can get a free API key from here. I know a lot of people think that you have to pay for API keys. You don't if you're using OpenRouter or AI Studio on Google. So if we go to aistudio.google.com, then we are going to go down to chat. Inside chat, you can select Nano Banana, and you can start using this directly here as well, right? So you can start generating responses directly inside the chat here. And it's free up to a certain limit, right? Obviously, if you're going crazy with it, then that's not going to work. But if you want to just quickly play around with it for free, then you can use AI Studio as well. It seems to be a little bit slow. So it took 9 seconds to generate that. But again, like, how much faster is that than using something like ChatGPT? And good luck if you need to create some edits as well. Andrew says, Bolt is amazing. I'm trying to use Bolt and N8N together. Yeah, I think that would be really cool too. But yeah, essentially that's how it works. If you love like N8N automations like this, feel free to get the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description as well. If you type in N8N here, go to Classroom, then go down to N8N templates and workflows. You can check out all of our N8N workflows here, and we have attached JSON files for each workflow, right? So if you want to learn how to build with this stuff, you can. If you've never used it before, but you're curious about learning it, you can start with the 6-week AI Automation Masterclass, and we'll literally show you how to create your first AI agent in 5 minutes. It's crazy. Anyone can learn this stuff from scratch. And then also we do daily coaching sessions. So we have 5 a week. And inside the community here, we have a very active community of people who just want to learn and grow together inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Like I said, the free automations from today are inside the AI Money Lab. Before anyone comments like this is not free, blah, 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 you can get them inside the resources here, import them into N8N. You can actually host N8N locally if you want to use N8N for free as well. So all of this stuff is free, and you can get a free API key from OpenRouter. So no need to comment that it's not free, because it definitely is. 4M4 log says, or analog says, I managed to make a huge write program in Google AI Studio and ported to VS Studio to change the integrated AI services to VLM. It's massive work. Yeah, I would agree. Like, it's just amazing what Google AI can do. And it's clearly dominating, right? I think actually ChatGPT makes the most revenue from what I've heard when it comes to its AI, but Google absolutely crushes when it comes to its outputs, right? This is generated like an example AI image generator. But the thing is, you want to actually have an option to plug in your API key here. So I would just plug it in all the information about API guidelines for coding with Nano Banana, and you can just plug those in the chat, create a tool with it, boom shakalaka. You're living the dream, all right? So thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments and description. And yeah, we've got loads of good stuff going on in there. And then also, if you want to book in a free AI automation session with us, where we can basically look at your business, look at what you're spending most time, and then help you figure out how to automate it, you can book in a automation session right here. We're basically on that call to look at the time audit, build out the systems for you, and then do the hands-free stuff for you as well. Final thing I wanted to show you was the video that actually got generated by Bear3. So let's have a look at this. This will have sound as well, but I'm not going to play sound because it won't sound on the live stream. But essentially, you can see how we've generated that video using Bear3. Thank you for the reminder, Sportus. I appreciate you. Yeah. So let's have a look at that. It looks really cool, right? And that was all generated from this image with Nano Banana. And then you can even do that inside N8N like I showed you earlier today. Boom. All right. So thanks so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. Cheers, everyone who tuned in. Appreciate all the comments. Support us. You're an absolute legend. Click Stanger. You're an absolute legend. Andrew, you're a legend. And I'll see you on the next ones. Cheers. Bye-bye. Today, I'm going to show you how I rebuilt a app valued at about $8 million. I'll show you the stats in a minute using Lovable and N8N. So you can see, for example, here we have our app built inside Lovable, and that is connected to our workflow inside N8N, where it can essentially do the same functionality. We've basically automated the whole thing using Lovable's AI features and also N8N. And I'll also give you the free template as well from today. So if you want to steal this stuff from me, you can. Obviously, this is just an evaluation of the app, right? So it's not like I'm saying this is how much you're going to make. This is just an example of what you can do and what you can build with N8N and Lovable. But it's pretty amazing what you can do. And hopefully this inspires you to build your own apps or to, for example, test different workflows yourself. So we're going to be trying this out today. And essentially how this works is you are going to, for example, build an app that can accept someone's name, email, and quote category. Then that's going to go into a spreadsheet, and it's going to fire off a daily inspiration quote to the person who's opted in for the app. All right. Now, if you want to know, okay, where did we get that valuation from? That sounds crazy. If we have a look here, this is for the company Motivation Daily Quotes by Monkey Taps, right? So in 2020, they earned an estimated $600,000 per month in revenue, according to App Masters. And you can see how they've built it out. So they've got over 1 million reviews using a very similar process as a motivational quote app. And essentially, if you want to build this with N8N, so you can see here what we've done is we've actually got a webhook URL that we've linked over to N8N, right? So we've got our N8N workflow over here, and this has a webhook inside it that we can link directly to N8N. Right, so if we have a look at this process, you can see we've got the webhook running over here, and we just copy that and we paste it into our workflow over here. So you see how we've got this webhook linked from N8N to Lovable. Now, the reason for that is that it allows you to basically say, okay, when anyone fills in this form on my app, which you can see over here, start my workflow inside N8N. So you can connect them together really easily. Now, if you want to see how we built this from scratch, essentially here's how it works. So we said, design a simple and elegant website for a daily quote email app. Here's a user flow. Here's a form that we need to insert in. Then we just gave it some stylized guidelines. By the way, if you want to steal this stuff from me, or if you just want to get the quote for inspiration, the prompt, then I'm going to put that inside our free AI Money Lab course. here's a prompt. And if you want to steal this stuff from me, you can. So there's the prompt right there, along with the attached JSON file. So you can just download this and then use this inside N8N. So that's inside the AI Money Lab. Go to the classroom, then scroll down, go to free N8N automation templates, and you can see Lovable and N8N over here. So it's really easy to build out this workflow. Let me show you exactly how it works step by step. So we started off with that initial prompt, then we tested it. Obviously, it takes about, I would say, probably 20 minutes to start building out the example. And you can see here that this is the quote form that it came up with. And then we refined it a little bit. We went back and forth inside the chat. And then we gave it the webhook from N8N. Now, if you want to create a webhook inside N8N, pretty simple and easy. You would just go to, for example, here, add node, webhook, and then that's going to start the webhook when the workflow is called, right? So this basically triggers the start of the workflow. Now, if we go back to this webhook here, let me show you how we set this up. So we've got, for example, the test URL and the production URL, like you can see over here. We have HTTP method as get, path, as you can see here, none, and then respond, right? So they're the details right there. And then you can actually test it. So if you type in your details into the app that you've built and then wait for a trigger event, you can type in the app details and then just check, does it actually trigger? What that's going to do from there is take the data from the N8N app. So for example, if I fill this in, right, and then I'm going to choose a category. So go to business, for example, it start getting quotes. That's going to receive the subscription. And then this is going to append it to our spreadsheet. Now, if you want the spreadsheet template, it's over here, right? And we just have to make sure as well that this is listening. So if you go over here, you can see that we've got the collection of details of what people are interested in. So the category, the email address, and the name of the person. And essentially, we're using that to fill out our spreadsheet automatically. So to map out the workflow so far, we've built an app. We've connected that to the webhook. When the webhook is triggered, that's going to append the details into our row. It's then going to respond with the first incoming item and just get the spreadsheet row details, right? So it's going to get those rows. So the lead sheet one, which is this tab over here. And we've got the template inside the AI Money Lab if you want to grab the sheet template. So you can just go to File, make a copy if you want to make this yourself. I can see someone's already looking at it. And then inside the lead sheet here, we're collecting those emails that we're going to send out each day. So you can quickly build out an email list and build out a beautiful landing page or an app using this process. From here, what it's going to do is it's going to loop over items, right? So what do I mean by that? Basically, it's taking the information from the spreadsheet and it's sending this off over here, right, to fetch quote. So you can see, for example, this is going to fetch quotes. This is from quote table IO, as you can see, and it's getting the information from quote table IO. Grab that information, process a quote. So you can see here, it's getting the quotes from the automation and then creating an email template in HTML. So if we open this up, let me show you how this works. This is a beautiful email template that it's going to use to fill out the details of the quote. For example, if we go to our daily quote over here, it says daily inspiration, here's the date, to have faith, here's what you're going to do. And that's a quote from Alan Watts, right? And so it's like a daily newsletter that's linked to an app inside Lovable and the N8N workflow. And then it's just going to send those emails directly to my inbox each day, as long as this is switched on. And then it will send a message, like you can see. So we're sending an email from our Gmail account. If you want to edit the credentials here, you just sign in with Google and add your own account. You can also change the sender name down here, so you can change that name. And then also we've got the resources message, operation is send, the subject, so daily quote, and then the actual date, which takes from JSON, the email type, which is HTML, because we're formatting it with HTML from before, and then the message, right? Really easy to build out, and then it's going to wait 5 seconds and then loop over, right? So you can see it just loops that over. So pretty simple and easy. You can see all the previous executions over here. So you see how it works step by step, when it runs, etc. And Deep says, hey, Julian, big fan, been watching your stuff for a while. It's really helped your business. Just wanted to know if we could do the same on the same AI. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm showing you, right? Is like basically how to do this with AI. So you're building the actual landing page with the AI inside Lovable, inside the chat here. And then this will link to N8N. Essentially, that's how we built it out. Now, if you wanted to, for example, have like more of a flashcard app inside here. Sudeep says Sim AI inside Sim AI. I'm not sure, actually. I've not tried to do this, but yeah, I assume if you can link webhooks to Sim AI, you could probably do the same. So if we go back to Lovable, if you've never used this before, this is basically how you can create an app, right? So if we go inside ChatGPT and we say, right, okay, create an app about, and then you just insert whatever you want to create an app about. So I'm actually going to say, okay, give me 5 to 10 app ideas that are great for me personally. So for example, like a sales call QC dashboard or an AI funnel optimizer. That's a good thing about ChatGPT. It knows what you work on all day. So it knows what you need. And then, for example, inside here, we could have an AI funnel builder, right? Or we could have a sales call tips app, right? So let's say, okay, create an app for sales tips. And then you can take that JSON workflow, like you see right here, and you just grab the webhook for your specific use case. So you're not going to use mine, obviously. You're going to use one for your own N8N workspace. And we'll say, make sure it triggers the webhook when used. And we'll say where people have to opt in for daily sales tips delivered to their inbox. And then what we're also going to say here is make the landing page clean plus beautiful. All right. And so that's how you can basically insert the webhook inside here and then also create the app. It's going to take about 20 minutes to now start spinning up, but basically that's how it works. Mr. Power says hello to you, Mr. Power. And then you can see how he's starting to implement this now, step by step. So if you wanted to see some examples of like previous executions, let me show you how this works. So if we go on executions, we can see where it's previously run. So if we open this up, we've got it running like, and then you can see how the process works, right? So this is triggered with the webhook, with the query. So if someone put in their name, their email, and the category, then it's going to append the row in the sheet. It's going to respond to that webhook and get the row in the sheet too. From there, it's going to loop over the items, fetch the quote. So this is the content from the quote, and it's quoted Stephen Hawking. And for this bit as well, you just want to get like some sort of quote API that you can link it to this, right? So if you were using quotes, then that's what you would do. And then from here, you process the quote. So you've got the content, the author, the tags, etc. And then this will create an email template based on this content. So we've got the create email template HTML that I showed you earlier. That's going to create it right here. And from there, we're going to send a message, right? Now, we actually label the messages as well as sent or in the inbox at unread. That's going to wait, loop over, and then it's just going to send over the quotes to each person. So you see how it loops over to each person in the list. And then you can have this running over and over again. Mr. Power, what do you want to ask? But yeah, really cool workflow right there. Basically, inside the AI Profit Boardroom, if you go inside here, there was actually a member who requested this. Let me find the post. Yeah, so Samir was asking about how to do this, right? How to publish N8N workflow via a web app using Lovable. And that's why we created this workflow, because we were like, right, okay, let's just make sure the AI Profit Boardroom members get as much help as they possibly can do. And so that's why we created this web app. And then you can see how easy it is using this process. Now, the other cool thing here as well is once you've created this, you can actually just go back and edit it if you want to. So you could say, okay, make this change, make that change, etc. And then from here, you're good to go. Suri Deep says, really appreciate what you're doing. Keep your thing. I got a dip. Thanks for everything. Happy tell. And then Borp said, Is Lovable good or not good for SEO? It depends how you optimize it, right? So if you're going to build a website with Lovable, then you just optimize it in the same way. The reason that most people fail when it comes to ranking a Lovable website or a website like this is that they're not actually focusing on SEO. They're not building backlinks, they're not optimizing the page. Let me show you an example. For example, if we actually type in the keyword SEO ROI calculator, the people are typing into Google here, you can actually see that our page built with bolt.new, which is very similar to Lovable, is ranking number 1 for that keyword, right? And so when you're doing this process, you really want to make sure that you optimize the page. Now, if you look at how we've optimized it for SEO, what we've done is we've put the keyword inside the top of the title tag, the title right here. We've also included some keyword optimized content around the page, as well as the calculator. We've matched the search intent perfectly. And then also the other thing here is don't just focus on SEO, but also focus on optimizing and converting that traffic. So for example, if we have a look at this page, you can see that we're sending traffic over to our funnels to book in the call. And so when you're building out these pages, you want to make sure the content you create matches the search intent. The page has optimized keyword density. Don't go crazy on that, but do it. Have some CTAs to wherever you want to funnel traffic for, like you see right here. Make sure that you're using it inside Google Search Console as well, like I'm showing you here. For example, 14,900 impressions per month, 69 clicks, not a massive amount of clicks, but it does rank number 1 for that keyword. And then also make sure that you're building backlinks to this page, right? So for example, if we have a look on Ahrefs and we go to the dashboard here, you'll see that we've built a bunch of backlinks to this page, and that's why it's getting so much organic traffic, right? Now, this is a one-page landing page with Bolt, and you can do the same inside Lovable, and then you can connect it to N8N and rank it too. So you can get a lot of traffic to these pages too, like you can see. And the other thing here as well is if we go into, let me double check this. I'm not 100% sure. If we type that keyword into, so you can see on Bing 2, our page is ranking number 1 here. Doesn't seem to rank inside ChatGPT so well. Let's have a look here. Oh yeah, it does. Look at that. So it's linked out to my website, juliangoldie.com, as you can see inside ChatGPT. And then also, I think inside Perplexity as well. Let's have a look here. Yeah, so you can see it quotes my website here inside Perplexity as well, right? And so you can optimize these pages for SEO too. Borby says, thank you. Glenn says, doesn't seem to have OG images, OG descriptions on subpages. SEO might work, but social sharing doesn't seem solid. Not sure about social sharing, but I'm sure you could change the meta images too. What you could do is you could just go inside here and then just say, okay. And by the way, this is the page that we created for our app. So you can see this has got some really nice content, nicely designed, etc. And then you can trigger the webhook once people enter their email address here. And then inside this section, you can just say, okay, can you add an image for social sharing, meta tag, image, etc. So when it's shared online, the image preview screen, right? Simple like that. And then you can fix it that way. PL says, hey, Julian, I happen to catch this. What is the best platform for building your first GPT for a newbie with no coding? Yeah, so just ChatGPT will do the job. And then you can easily do that. I've got loads of training inside the AI Profit Boarding. So essentially, that's how you can change now the social media page as well. So you can see it's creating the banner and everything else, which means that when you share it online, it will look a lot nicer. You can also invite people to your projects if you have a developer working on this. So you can quite easily get a lot of N8N builders online as well. And that's basically it. Just to reconfirm here, we rebuilt this app based on how Motivation Daily Quotes app is monetizing with their freemium subscription model. According to the quotes online, they make over $600,000 per month in revenue. Quick disclaimer, you probably won't earn that or anywhere near that, but you can see how you can basically connect Lovable and N8N together so that they can build beautiful apps that work really well together using this webhook process. Now, if you want the full template from today, just go inside the AI Money Lab. So go inside the AI Money Lab, go to the classroom, and then from here, what you're going to do is scroll down and go to free N8N automation templates, and you can just grab the template right here, right? So the JSON file is attached, the spreadsheet is here, the prompt that we use is here as well. And then also if we have a look through the list of free N8N templates here, so there's loads of other stuff inside here, right? You see all these different trainings. But if you want all the N8N stuff, we have, for example, a podcast AI agent. All these have attached templates you can import into N8N, Nano Banana, cold email agents, 1,000 N8N free templates, N8N Slack bot, outbound sales call agent, and a personalized newsletter agent. As well as that, we just drop in new trainings every single day, as you can see. And just a quick disclaimer as well, actually just got a few spots left in the AI Profit Boardroom before the prices go up. So make sure you sign up now before you miss out. If you want to get access to that, just go to the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. You can sign up here, grab a spot before the prices go up. On top of that, inside the community here, we have a bunch of giveaways. It's a very active community, loads of good value in there, everyone helping each other out. We have an awesome classroom with a 6-week AI masterclass, all of my best AI automations, my N8N templates, even more N8N templates here, organized by category, as you can see. And then also over here, we have a bunch of social media automations, email and content automations, AI agents, etc., and a YouTube automation course there, along with my AI SEO automations. We do 5 weekly coaching calls a week. So you can jump on 5 coaching calls a week, ask any questions you have, get technical support whenever you need them, right? Hope to see you in there. This community is all about just growing, learning together, helping humanity evolve, right? AI is gradually becoming part of all of our lives. This is like when the internet first came out. And so basically I created this community, number one, to inspire myself to keep pushing. Number two, to connect everyone that I knew about AI to learn and grow together. And number three, just to share the journey with a bunch of cool people, right? You can see all this cool stuff that's happening inside the community here. So hope to see you in there. There's another Q&A happening in 13 hours, so make sure you jump on that. And also, if you just want to hire us to do this stuff for you, feel free to book in a AI automation session. On that call, basically what we're going to do is audit your time. Then from there, we're going to be looking at what systems you can build to save a lot of time. And then if you want to hire us, you can. Quick disclaimer, this is probably, I would say, I think the minimum price that we work with is $2,000 per automation. So if you want us to build this stuff for you, just make sure you have the budget. If you don't have the budget, then just join the AI Profit Boardroom. Do automation. And this is a free template I'm giving away today. And you can basically build and automate one-click videos like you can see right here. So this is Mario ice skating. And literally all you do, completely no code, you just type in your prompt and then you can generate a video with Sora like this. Let's have a look.
Yeah, the winter air carries its laugh. The winter.
So the way that this was generated was using Sora 2, and this is invite only. I actually don't have access to Sora 2 directly inside ChatGPT, even though I'm a paying premium member. They do not care. All right. The way that you can get access to it is using something called Kia. Right. So if you go to the link inside the AI Money Lab here and just grab the resources down here, inside Kia, you can get access to Sora 2, right? Which is normally invite only. Why it says can I have a code? So I don't have a code, but I can show you how to access it via Kia instead and via this automation that I've built for you. And it's actually really cheap to run the videos. It only costs, so Sora 2 costs 20 credits, which is like 20 cents per video, which is pretty reasonable. You can also use image to video as well. So there are 2 different options. And if you want to use it directly inside Kia, you can actually go down here and you can start using it inside this section and select between landscape and portrait, HD or standard, etc. And yeah, that's basically how it works step by step. So let me show you exactly how this works. So you can see here, for example, inside Kia, you've got this model and it's called Sora to text to video and Sora to image to video, right? And this is available for commercial use. Now, if we go into N8N, and let me break down the workflow here, you can see basically we're sending a chat message, that's going to extract the prompt. We send that over to Kia waits, and you can have this wait however long. I think it can take about 1 to 2 minutes to generate the video. And then from here, we can send the HTTPS request, right? So if I duplicate this tab, and I'll show you exactly how it works step by step. And be it, see it says, yes, Julian, we're live. Or have you got an AI on live streams now? Not quite at that point, but I'm sure that's probably coming at some point. Like I can just imagine that AI is going to be live streaming in the future. It's undeniable it's going to happen, right? 2 people have asked me for the code already. I don't have a code, but I do have Kia to access, and I'm showing you how to use it today. And that's how you can get access and get around the invitation code, right? So not only do you get a free automation template that I'm giving you today inside N8N, you can get that inside the AI Money Lab, but also you can, for example, use Kia without a invite code. Kia says, great to catch you too. And we're going to keep going now. If you have any questions as we go along, just feel free to ask. But inside here, for example, I'm just going to unpin all these modules because otherwise what's going to happen is it's going to get messy. All right. So how this is triggered is with a chat message. So for example, let's say Mario is ice skating in the winter, right? Something like that, right? Or Sam Altman. This is quite interesting as well, is like you can actually do inside here. You can actually do like famous people. So for example, like Sam Altman, ice skating, you can generate that if you want to. Now, sometimes this might take longer than 60 seconds. So you can see I've put it on a 60-second wait amount. It might take longer. If it does, I'm just going to come back to that in a minute. And you can always change the wait time here, right? So you can change that to 120 seconds, 180 seconds if you want to, etc. I'm in Halifax, so yeah, I'm in Asia. I'm actually based in Asia. Ibra says, hi, good to see you again. Good to see you too. Mohammed said, your videos are insane. They're insane. All right, thank you very much. We're going to keep going through now. And whilst that's generating in the background here, which is perfect, we're going to run through exactly how to set this up, right? So essentially, you've got the chat message over here, and then this is going to extract the prompt, right? So you can see here, it basically takes the user prompt, sets that as a field, and then that's going to send over via this prompt that we generated earlier into creating a video task, right? So you can see, for example, here, we've got a post. So this is a HTTP request, right? It's sending over to Kia, generic credential type, header auth, and Kia, right? Now, when you do this, the way that you set up the header auth, I should put this inside the instructions. Actually, let me go over here and set this up here, is for Kia authentication, it's header credential, right? So header credential, and then you can have authorization as a name. And then for this, what you actually do is you put bearer space API key, and you just insert your API key. But it's important to add that space, right? And then that's for the value. And then if you want to get your API key from Kia, and that's KIE.ai, then what you do is you go over here, you go to your dashboard, you go to API key, and then you can just grab an API key over here, right? So you can just create an API key and then plug that in. B, it says Kia, Kimi is fire for making sites. Yeah, loving a bit of Kia, and I love AI Studio. Yeah, Gemini 3.0 is going to be insane. It's going to be insane, my friends, for sure. All right, so if we go back now, we're going to go through the list as well. So this is creating a video task. So we send it a post, URL, authentication, generator, and then inside here, I've just put my API key live on the live stream. I'm going to have to delete that in a second. And then you can see, for example, here, you've got the JSON, right? So if we open this up full screen, this is what the JSON looks like. So we're using model to text to video input, JSON user prompt, aspect ratio, landscape, and the quality equals HD, right? Now, if you put that as standard, then it will just reduce the quality of the video slightly. So it depends if you want like really good quality or not. And then you can see an example of what it looks like here, right? So it takes that video task from Kia and then plugs it in over here, right? Now, once you've done that, you're going to extract the data task, right? And this is just a task ID, which you'll use later inside the get node, right? So you're going to grab the task ID from this particular section. And then inside here, you're going to wait 10 seconds. All right. So you wait 60 seconds. You can always increase that. So if it takes longer, you can change that to 3 minutes or whatever. And that's going to take the HTTP request and just get it, right? So once the video is actually completed, it's going to extract from Kia the URL. So this is like, you send the request to Kia and then you wait a few minutes and then you take the request back, right? Now from here, you've also got the task ID at the end. And the task ID here is basically extracting that one, so it knows which task you're talking about. Now you can see on the right-hand side, you've got the code, the message, the data, etc. And inside this, you can see that we've used text to video, state is success. Bear in mind, sometimes that does fail, so just be wary of that, especially when the API's just come out and it's all crazy and everyone's using it. And then you can see the video extracted right here, okay? So you've got the video URL here. But the problem with that is that video URL, you need to extract it, you need to put into a normal URL, right? So we're going to map that out with a code, and we're using this JSON here. So this is JSON code, and that basically takes the Sora URL over here and then extracts it into a video URL over here, okay? So it sends it from here to here, and it's using that JSON to break it down. Wicked Digital Media says, love your sharing API keys now. Yeah, that's just what I do. That's how much value I give to the world, right? Just giving people API keys live on a live stream. Don't copy me. All right, so on this section, we've got the video URL, which is from Kia over here. All right, and then we get it, and this just basically transforms that raw URL into something we can actually view inside N8N using an HTTP request. So we get the URL, we're using JSON, we don't have any authentication from it. And then this is important to note, right? So this took me a little while to figure out, but basically you have an option section down here, response, and then you can see we've got the file as a response format and video to put the output in the field. Otherwise, you won't be able to view the video and you have to copy and paste that into your browser, which you can do if you want, but it's not ideal. It's not ideal. So let's play this back now. I'm actually, do you know what? I've got this video extension that's driving me crazy. Video speed controller. And basically it plays my videos at 2x speed automatically. It's super annoying. There we go. We're back to normal. All right. And then for the API key, let me show you this because I need to do it right now. We're going to go over here and we're going to go down to API key. If you want to revoke an API key, like you can see, we can just revoke it like so, delete that. And then you just have to insert the new one inside your workflow. But that's essentially how it works, right? See, we've deleted the API keys. Boom. No problem, mate. No problem. BC, it says, this looks well complicated. If you need help with that, just join the AI Money Lab or join the AI Profit Boardroom and you can get help on this stuff. So if you're struggling, feel free to ask me inside there. And then BC, it says, when they say it's open source, what does it mean? It means like the code is shared with people so they can you can see the code, you can duplicate it, etc. And it's shared with the world. What else we got here? Logan says you can modify them most of the time, faster way to improve them, honestly. And then what's your favorite AI site? Probably the one that I use the most is ChatGPT. BC, it says never done anything with N8N. It's complicated. And Ian says hope you get the API key sorted. All right, so I've shown you how to remove your API keys now as well. So you've learned a lot today, my friends. And this is basically how it works. Now, if you want to get the JSON and you're just like, I don't want to do all this stuff myself, right? Like just download it from the AI Money Lab over here. It's completely free. Then what you're going to do is go into N8N. You're going to start a new workflow. So create a new workflow at the top. Then you're going to go to the three dots at the top, import from file, grab that workflow, boom, shakalaka, you've got this in here, right? And then just anytime you do a HTTP request, like you can see, you're going to change this to your actual API key and change the header auth as well to the right one, right? So you would insert your API key details over here. And that's basically how it works, right? And then you can see how we're step by step from here. Now, some people will be watching this and be like, it's too complicated. I don't want to do this, blah, 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 right? So what you can actually do is you can just go straight to, where is it now? You can go straight to the Kia model over here. And then you can start using Sora 2 directly inside here, which is completely no code, right? So you can see if we scroll in, we can start using this no code over here. All right, and then we can put in whatever prompt we have. So you can see, for example, this is one that's generated inside the chat. BC, it says, so is this video a Sora hack to access it? Yeah. So like you don't need to wait for an invite code to be able to access it now with this process, right? And you can see the video quality with standard is pretty grainy. I don't like that at all, to be honest with you. We can actually click on view for history, and then I think we can look at what we've done. See, you can see there's a few failures here, right? It's just something to be wary of, is sometimes this stuff does not work. So let's have a look at this one. All right, we got this one as well. So we got this one as well. This is cat.
The whole world is happening just for you. Warm sun, soft breeze, the perfect afternoon for a window walk.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's try and generate some more and see what we can actually do that's a bit more fun. Let's go inside Sora 2, playground, okay. And then we're going to say, okay, HD, portrait. And we're going to say, okay, in fact, we'll do landscape. Sam Altman, stealing GPUs, caught on camera. CCTV, in a shop. Red-handed, buys curious staff at nighttime. So you can see, for example, you can just type in no code over here, and then it will start generating the content. It is super slow, to be fair, when you're using this. The other thing you can do is like you can do image to video. So if we duplicate this tab, then we can keep going up. All right. Wicked Digital Media says, just done my Hey Jen new avatar to add to one of your workflows to put more content out. Nice, man. Nice. I listen to your really voice and face now. It's insane. Of course. Be it see it says, are you open to help growing your community? I do offer publishing and scaling. Be great to talk. Yeah, feel free to just drop me a message inside the AI Profit Boardroom if you're a member. And then Master says something else. And Logan says, oh, my question isn't showing up. All right. So if we go back now, this is interesting. So you can see there's a lot of failures here. Right? So let's try this. Sam Altman in a shop, stealing GPUs. I feel like there is a little bit more restricted, or it's failing more inside Kia, and I think that's because everyone's using the API. Let's see, we can come back to that later. Some other things to note, look at that, generation failed. So something is going on with Kia. Like, I don't know if it's just everyone in the world is using it or something, but it seems a lot of them seem to get to 2% complete. I think by the time you're watching this video on the organic, if you're watching this video on my YouTube channel, that should be sorted out because it's just come out a few hours ago. But for sure, there's some problems with the API here. And then Sora text to video. So this is basically OpenAI's latest AI generation video model. And you can switch between text to video or image to video. Let's try that and see if that actually works. I'm not too hopeful, to be honest, because it is breaking sometimes, but I've shown you that it does work today. So I've uploaded this image. Let's try that. Probably going to fail, to be honest, considering all the other failures I've seen so far. But let's see if it works or not. Yeah, look at that. I think the Kia API is down for Sora too. But I think by the time you're watching this, or by the time you get it out and check it out, you should be good to go. Let's just try portrait. And yeah, this is the other thing about Sora 2 as well. It's a lot more affordable than Veo 3. And you've got text to video and image to video, HD output, creative control, and that sort of thing. For some reason, they've put innovation and then they've put Lorem Ipsum writing on this page. You can see some other examples here. So some other cool stuff you can do with it. So you can actually produce like visual explainers, which is pretty insane. That's failed again. Look at that. Letting me down there, Kia. You are letting me down, my friends. But yeah, I'm sure that'll work. Just it's within a short amount of period after the API has been released. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, so you can create like short feature films as well, which is pretty insane. And then you can compare like the two models side by side as well. The other thing that I've seen is like there's a watermark on each video that you generate. So for example, when you generate a video, quite often you'll see a watermark, right? And they've actually said the current API has a watermark from OpenAI, and we are working on a version without the watermark. So I think whilst it's first in beta and whilst it's first being released, it's gonna have a watermark over it, basically. Yeah. So that's basically it from me. If you want to get access to the video notes from today and the JSON file, you can get it down here inside the AI Money Lab, link in the comments description. Completely free community, comes with 28,900 members. You can grab the JSON file directly from here. inside this community as well is very active. Like, it's actually one of the top, let's have a look. On Skool is like one of the top 28 in our category for the most active community. So it's a very active community, lots of people in there, lots of people introducing themselves and that sort of thing. You can see all the comments here, and you can see I personally reply to all these comments as well. So yeah, we make sure it's an active community. We all share, we all help each other. So for example, the other day we asked, what's your biggest challenge in AI? And then we helped and replied to everyone. On top of that, inside the classroom here, you get access to all my best automations. We actually update this daily with new teachings, trainings, learnings, etc. So you can see, for example, inside this post here, we offered a free tool to auto create viral videos. We also gave away 1,000 N8N automations. We allowed people to promote their stuff for free. And we also gave away a flash sale. So there's some insane deals in there too. And then inside the classroom, if you go to, where is it? If you like N8N stuff, you scroll down, go to free N8N automations. You can see the N8N plus Sora 2 section here with all the resources from today, the key authentication details, and this as well. And I'll add the video tutorial here. On the left-hand side here, you can see all this stuff that we've built. So for example, like a podcast AI agent, and these all comes with video tutorials and the JSON files down here that you can import. You can also see, for example, we have this N8N Nano Banana automation, which is really cool. A cold email agent, newsletter agent, 1,000 free N8N templates, a Slack automation, just loads of cool stuff that you can use. For example, like even a Google AI avatar automation that you can see right here with the video tutorial. So it's all inside the AI Money Lab, completely free. And then also, if you want help, if you want support, if you want to go further into the rabbit hole with me, then you can actually get this weekend only. So it's only available until the end of the weekend. But we basically have a 90% off deal on our 4-in-1 AI profit bundle. We only have a few spots left for that. So make sure you sign up now before you miss out. Link in the comments description. This is basically a huge bundle pack where you get tons of stuff, and I'll show you exactly what you get. So this weekend, you walk away with my entire stack of the AI Profit Boardroom. So you get the AI Profit Boardroom, which is like all my best plug and play workflows, comes with weekly coaching with me, etc., help support. You also get the SEO Boardroom, which is normally over $1,000 a year. You get access to the SEO Elite Circle, and you also get my upcoming School Accelerator program that's helped me grow a community reaching this much MR. So we've reached this much MR on Skool, and this is just one community. We actually have the SEO Elite Circle too. So if we pull up the SEO Elite Circle here, you can see our MR for that, right? So combined, that is over $90,000 MR. You can see these are not typical results, just a disclaimer here. Not everyone's going to achieve that, but you can see that we've achieved it on Skool. We make over $90,000 a month with Skool, right? We're giving away a Skool Accelerator program in our 4-in-1 bundle. So you get all of this cool stuff. Normally, this would be about $5,500 if you wanted to buy it. This weekend only, you can get it for $59 per month if you get it this weekend, right? There's only a few spots left. On top of that, what we get is my best automations for automated lead gen, AI avatar systems, how to scrape thousands of leads automatically, my best SEO frameworks, retention systems, and also you get all of this stuff. So my Twitter automations, AI avatar engine, my focus manual. And then additionally, you also get coaching with us, right? So if you join the AI Profit Boardroom, you'll see inside the community here, we have 5 calls per week. So 5 coaching calls per week. We give away all of these different trainings here. So for example, like we've got a full course for agencies. If you want to scale your AI automation agency, we have a full course on YouTube and how to grow with YouTube. So our YouTube AI roadmap based on how I reach 2 million people per month on YouTube. And then also you can learn AI from scratch. So if you're a complete beginner and you don't even know what N8N is, then you can learn it from scratch here. And additionally, inside here, you can get all of my best automations for like Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, automating videos, even funnel building, right? We actually give away all our best funnel templates, like you can see right here. And we show you how to automate those with AI too. And then on top of that, you get access to all of this stuff inside the community here. So if you scroll down, you can see all of this stuff that's going on. All right. So limited time available for that. Feel free to get it. Link in the comments description. And just one thing to go before we go, there's also a 7-day refund guarantee. And on top of that, we have over 88 pages of testimonials from happy clients here, right? So you can see all the cool stuff that people have posted. Steve Light posted, "Thanks so much, bro. The value you provide is exceptional, much better than others." Charles says, "I'm loving it inside the AI Profit Boardroom." Najiri says, "The course content is amazing." Douglas says, "It's worth me, even though I haven't even tried hard." So we've got tons of testimonials inside the AI Profit Boardroom as well. All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.